Looking for some Saints scuttlebutt on the internet today and stumbled upon this. The Wire network, Saints Wire, John Seigler, part of all that, went through every team in the NFL and went for a potential breakout player for this year. And I always, before I click these links, I always go, okay, who do I think the answer is? And as I was looking at it, I was thinking, okay, I could see a world where you could put Kendre Miller on there. Certainly Tyler Shook would be the greatest example of that. I'm not ready to sit here and tell you that I think Isaiah Foskey is going to do it. That's a little bit presumptuous, but maybe you could put Kelvin Banks if you want to talk about a left tackle. There are some answers I would come up with. And then if you did a different exercise and you said, Hunt, here's a blank sheet of paper with every member of the Saints roster. Just put number 1 through 53 on who you think is the most likely breakout and who's the least likely breakout. And I got to tell you, the answer that John Seigler put for his on this poll, for me, is far closer to 53 than 1. It's Juwan Johnson. Now, I'm not telling you that John Seigler's wrong on this. He gives great rationale as to why it could be. I just, before this exercise, would not have pointed to the middle-aged, undersized tight end as the breakout guy on the Saints team. But here's what John Seigler says. It feels odd to suggest a 28-year-old who has already played 67 games with the Saints is going to break out, but Johnson could reach another level in Kellen Moore's offense. Tight ends have always been a priority when Moore is called plays. An aging Jason Witten saw 83 targets in 2019, Dalton Schultz, 89 of them in 2020, and 104 in 2021, 89 again in 2022. That's his run there with the Cowboys. Then Gerald Everett had 70 targets in 2023. Dallas Goedert, 72 passes went his way in 14 games last year. Johnson had a career-high 66 targets last year. His volume is about to go up, and Moore's fresh perspective could find new ways to get him the ball. That is well-researched, well thought out, and I don't have a complete and utter disagreement with the rationale. But I just feel like some sort of breakout campaign for Juwan Johnson is unlikely with a rookie quarterback when he's played with Derek Carr for the last couple of years. He played in 2020 with Drew Brees, very little, but did play. I look at his career, and you're looking at a guy who had 4 catches, 13 catches, 42 catches, 37 catches, 50 catches. What are we talking here? 75 catches for 7 touchdowns? It seems unlikely to me. I did not love the contract that was given out to Juwan Johnson entering his age 29 season. I felt like at this point where the Saints were, shoveling money towards him for multiple years at that age, at that position with his productivity might have been a little bit iffy. But I'll try to play along with John here and suggest, okay, you don't have a dominant receiving core, right? I think Chris Olave is good. His health is questionable. We'll see what his durability looks like. Rashid Shaheed is good. He's a great deep threat. He's coming back off of his injury issues as well. So beyond that, you got Brandon Cooks and a whole bunch of okay. I mean, we're talking routinely about how much of a breakout campaign Bub Means might have. Okay, not a lot. Not a lot of confidence in that. So it's not a dynamic receiving core. And maybe the tight end gives a rookie quarterback some easy completions, some pitch and catch stuff that they can scheme up around the line of scrimmage, and Juwan Johnson is a better candidate for that than Foster Moreau or an injured Taysom Hill who won't be back until when? Late October? I can get there. It's just a little bit more difficult for me to do it. But I will give John Seigler credit for this. It is an outside-the-box thought. And this is really, we're in late June, good time for outside-the-box stuff. And Juwan Johnson has been a solid player. Never been a spectacular player. If you look at his touchdown catches, 0, 4, 7, 4, 3. It's not real volatile. It just kind of is what he is. And so while I didn't agree with the contract that he was given, and I don't necessarily agree with John's assertion that he's a prime candidate for a breakout, I do respect the fact that he's probably going to go out there. He's probably going to play 15, 16, 17 games. He's probably going to catch 500 yards worth of balls. He's probably going to catch 5 touchdowns, and you can probably count on that. And there's something to be said for that. I've talked about this routinely since the draft. Everything the Saints do should have an eye on, not just 100% dedicated to, but should have an eye on developing a rookie quarterback. Everything you do. From hiring coaches to signing players to contract lengths to how you draft to everything you do should have an eye on that. Now, there's a reasonable case to be made that Tyler Shook won't pan out. At that point, you can't have tailored your entire organization to him without knowing if he's going to pan out. But I can make the case that in his first year, as a starter, as a rookie, that having Juwan Johnson, who's a steady, dependable hand, is a benefit to him as the quarterback. And so, he'll probably have a nice season. But to think that he will take his average year and do 160% of that, which is what I would probably call a breakout, 140% of that, which I would call a breakout, it just doesn't feel likely, because what's the upside on Juwan Johnson? He's still going to be 28, 29 years old. He's still going to be a little bit on the shorter side. He's not a dynamic athlete. He's just a steady player. And there's room for steady players on the roster. I just don't know if I'm going to put the steady player on the breakout candidate. So if I had to say who I hope the breakout candidate could be for this New Orleans team, like, I'm going to give you Brian Brzee coming up with 10 sacks. Like, that is a breakout I would love to see. I'm going to give you, as I mentioned, Kendre Miller. I'm going to give you Kool-Aid McKinstry coming up with 9 interceptions. Like, that's an astronomical number, I get it. But, like, the guys who are scratching their surface. Brian Brzee is scratching his surface as an interior defensive player as far as run stopping and adding to what he's got, which is a good pass rush game. Maybe Rashid Shaheed really develops an intermediate and short passing game ability that goes with his game-breaking speed. And he breaks out, and he outperforms Chris Olave significantly. That, to me, because Rashid Shaheed's got elite speed, because Brian Brzee has the ability to rush the passer from the interior with a great build and frame and can develop other aspects of his game. Like, I don't see what Juwan Johnson unlocks in himself unless you just think that Kellen Moore's playbook is going to just feed him, which is basically the argument. But if the playbook is designed to feed Juwan Johnson and limit the touches of Kamara and Miller and Olave and Shaheed and some of those guys, like, is that the playbook you want? Like, this isn't Travis Kelce here. We're not talking about prime Antonio Gates. This ain't Gronk. This is a nice tight end. So I disagree with the fit of Juwan Johnson as far as breakout. I agree with the fact that there's value in Juwan Johnson on the team with a young quarterback. I would take someone else as a breakout candidate. Taylor, you're sitting over there with a microphone. I've given you some options for a Saints breakout player there, whether it's one of these young first and second round picks. I don't know if a left tackle qualifies as a breakout, but did one name sound better to you than the others?
I certainly wouldn't go Juwan Johnson. I mean, if I'm going Saints breakout, I'm going young guy, like Devin Neal maybe for me. Like,
that would be fun.
That's an option. That's a fun pick. I mean, we don't know what's going to happen. A Kendre Miller. I mean, somebody behind Kamara to take the pressure off of him. Like, somebody other than a 28-year-old tight end who hasn't done anything.
Beck, you got a pick for me for a breakout player at tight end? I mean, not a breakout player, period. Not
tight end. How about
how about Juwan Johnson?
Yeah,
how about
Juwan Johnson? Yeah. No, I think this is the year where we could really see Brian Brzee taking the next step. I mean, he had a really solid rookie season. He was pretty good last year, and the stage is set for him. Like, he's going to be playing as many snaps as he has, in his career. So I really think that if he can because we know he can rush the passer. It's going to be whether or not he can really improve on stopping the run, and if he can have 5 or 6 sacks a year and is really good at stopping the run, he's going to be on the outside looking in for maybe being a Pro Bowl type player.
What if I told you Brian Brzee had 7.5 sacks last year?
He's great at rushing the
Yeah,
passer.
You don't remember that. Like,
yeah.
He just
under
doesn't
the
stop
radar.
the run as well. Many people are saying, I mean, this has been kind of rampant on the NFL wire, that since Brzee's appearance on the Hunt Palmer Show Super Bowl week, he's really unlocked something new. And
Maybe so.
We'll see come training camp, but that's the buzz. I heard Schefter reporting it the other day, so we'll see. We'll stay tuned. Hey, it's Hunt. Thanks for watching Hunt on Saints. Before you leave, help us out a little bit. Hit that like button, leave your comments in the section below, and hit that subscribe button so you get all our content right here from Hunt on Saints. We'll see you next time.